I've stopped watching the news. It's the worst show on television. Seriously. I know. Who comes up with this stuff? It's been on forever, 0 Emmys, and it gets renewed every season. I was binge watching for a while, and I figured out what our main problem is. Our number one problem is we have too many problems. And we get a problem, and it goes to the front of the line, and we don't solve it, but then another problem takes cuts in front of that problem. And then we have 2 problems that we're not dealing with. And then another one takes cuts in front of that. Like we had a global pandemic. We're not done with that. And then it was racial justice. And then it was minimum wage. And then it was Afghanistan. And then it was Nicki Minaj's friends, cousins, nouns. And then it's just one thing after another. And meanwhile, global warming is at the end of the line going, hola, I'm still here. At one point, the number one problem, actually the moment that I wrote this down, the number one problem was statues, all right? I don't know if you guys know, where I live, there was a civil war, pretty big thing. And then after the war, they started to give out a bunch of statues, and it seemed like the easiest way to get one was to be a high-ranking commander on the team that lost who also had a horsey. Those guys were getting a lot of statues. They were handing them out to them like they were participation certificates at a middle school science fair. You get one, and good job, you can put this on the fridge. You guys all did great, you came in second. Where I live, there's a statue of a person born more than 100 years ago, and I guess it was important that they built a statue, and it wasn't the guy who founded the town or the first school teacher, it was the town drunk. Wobbly McBoozebag. They decided to put on a pedestal. And it just seems lame. Every generation should be able to pick their own statues, right? Andy Warhol once told me, he said every person is going to be famous for 15 minutes. And it gave me a great idea, right? Temporary statues. Because the problem with these old statues is they last longer than the public's memory. Statues last hundreds of years, and heroes come and go at the drop of a hat. So that's why I'm inventing temporary statues. They're like regular statues, except instead of being built out of, I don't know, marble or stone, they're made out of like clay or whatever they use to fix the potholes on my street. That way, the people who currently live in an area can have a statue that's important to them. And if they don't like it or get tired of it, it's kind of easy to edit. That way, maybe you'll be walking in the park one day and you're like, hey, what happened to the Play-Doh sculpture of Will Smith? Which it divides the room because these are the times that we live in. If I came out here and said we live in divisive times, 50% of you would say, it's pronounced divisive. That's how... I've been alive for my whole life, except for that one time in college. And I've never seen our country so polarized. And it's not just Will Smith, you name it, sports, all right? Some people say Tom Brady is the greatest of all time when everybody knows it's Michael Jordan, right? Or science. Some people say the planet is round and we're not going to listen to what you say because we're smarter than you. And another group says the planet is flat because we're looking at it. And it's my job when you're a professional communicator, of which being good at, I am one of them guys. It's my job to come out here and try to get people on the same page, which is why I say maybe the planet is round and flat, like a pizza, right? That's why the outside is called the crust. Come on, everybody. Come. I know. Come to the table and have some cosmic pizza, all right? We live in a country where you can believe whatever you want, which is great. It's what makes our country great, and it's why I chose to be born here in the first place. But sometimes people's beliefs and the facts don't line up. For example, there's a place called Cosmic Pizza not very far from where I live. And this other group of people were saying that there was a group of people based in the basement of the Cosmic Pizza that was a cult, a cannibalistic cult of child traffickers. But upon closer examination, turns out this place doesn't even have a basement. So, oops. You know what that means? I know, I ate all those babies for nothing. No. Not for nothing. Look at how my skin glows. Thomas Jefferson once told me, he said, an educated citizenry, all right, is a vital requisite for our survival as a free people. Basically, we need gooder schools. Otherwise, a bunch of dumbies are going to be voting on everything, including who gets to vote. And that's why schools, it's a big issue. Where, at least, I don't know what it's like here. Where I live, the school scene, it's a mess. It's been a mess for a couple of years now. Masks, no masks, they don't know. They don't know where to teach or how to teach or what to teach. You've got parents blaming teachers, and you've got mayors blaming school boards, and you've got health officials blaming governors. And everyone is overlooking the most important part of the equation, the kids, right? Let's blame them. If they were just a little bit smarter in the first place, we wouldn't need so many schools.